Ready to go live. I think we are live, my friend. Whoops, LinkedIn says you're not approved for LinkedIn Live. Okay, remove that, remove that. I think we are live anyway. Save changes. We are live. How are you, my friend?
I am
Back to
doing
today's
incredibly
session.
well. Thank you. It's so
Awesome.
good to be here.
Awesome. It's good to have you back. I've got some notes today, so you'll see me reading a few questions and stuff to make it a little bit more interactive. So very welcome everybody that's tuning in today, or if you're watching it in the future, you're very welcome. Please do leave some comments over here on the right-hand side of your screen as we talk through today's episode. So hello and welcome to I'm a Role Model. Today, we're going to discuss some of the secret hacks and stories around landing your dream job. This is episode number 2. I am Patrick Cutcliffe. I'm the founder of BuzzStart, and the BuzzStart Academy exists to disrupt the status quo of work and really upskill and empower 1 million women to become digital entrepreneur leaders for the future workforce. And once again, today, joining me is our Naomi, the amazing Naomi Empowers. Naomi, welcome. How are you doing, my friend?
Thank you. I'm doing really, really well. I am actually trying to share this broadcast live on Facebook. So if you do hear a loud noise, I hope you won't, but I'm going to give it a go.
Awesome.
Hold on a minute. Let me share this right now.
This is so cool.
Share. Right. So I've got it on my feed as well. So hopefully some of my people will pop in and check out what we're doing.
That's all I wanted to do. Happy days. The more the merrier. And remind me to change the banners as we go to keep things ticking along.
Oh, yeah.
So what do we see? Right. So I was going to ask you some things, Naomi, about, we were talking about earlier. And, before we get started, please just give our viewers, because each session will have new people joining. I've just kind of given our mission statement for BuzzStart. So if you could give your mission statement for your life, for your purpose, for your being and all that, that would be really cool.
All right, cool. So, hey, everyone, it's great to connect with you all. And I'm looking forward to getting to hear more of your stories and sharing more of you as we continue on this journey. My name is Naomi Empowers. I'm a transformational coach, a business consultant, trainer and speaker. And my personal mission, whilst I'm here on this earth, is to, number 1, become the very best version of myself. Number 2, to realize my potential. Number 3, to die empty. And number 4, to inspire and empower others all around the world to do the same. And in a nutshell, that's pretty much what I'm about. It's the reason why I do everything that I do.
Amazing. That sounds amazing. Class. And you do need that purpose, I think, in life. You need a vision. You need a mission for life. You need to hack yourself. And we're going to talk a lot about that today, like we did last week, because I think a lot of stuff's going to come back to that hacking yourself, setting yourself in a pathway, that happiness, your purpose, your mission. And when you figure that stuff out, hopefully younger women will figure that out earlier on rather than later. So that, then they can really get on that pathway. It's taken me half of my life to figure out my purpose and my superpowers and all that stuff. And I'd like to see that doesn't happen for people coming out of university or college right now, and so on and so forth. So today we're going to discuss the world of employment and finding a dream job. Everybody wants happiness. Everybody wants the dream job, right?
Absolutely.
And it has to align with your mission, your vision, your heart, your soul, your purpose, and your superpowers, right? So you need to figure out what your superpowers are as well. What am I best at? What are people telling me I'm great at, right? So I have personally, and I'm sure you have, and a lot of people have lived this roller coaster. You've lived and breathed a roller coaster journey through your life in the world of finding work, finding yourself, the terror and horror of interviews and sitting in front of panels, fitting into that nicely designed little cubicle box, which is the status quo of here's how the system works. And you should just fit nicely into that and don't be thinking about disrupting it or doing anything differently. So really about disrupting those boundaries, breaking outside of that box, disrupting yourself, figuring out your purpose and serving your own needs and wants and not those of the wider system, the systemic picture of sit in this box, do this, be quiet, and that's how it is. That's not how it is, and that's not how it should be. All right, so let's kick off of a question, Naomi, right? I need some water already. Okay, so first question, right? And then if you feed the questions back to me, I'll give my answer as well, right?
Sure, no problem.
Last week. So what would you say is your number 1 superpower that you have discovered through trial and error when navigating your life and seeking employment?
Oh, if I were to pick only one, and this is a challenging thing to do, but I think my superpower is my self-awareness and understanding and appreciating that I am enough, and that my knowledge, my experience, my skills are valid, they are useful, and that I actually do have a purpose, or even many purposes, whilst I'm here on this earth. And I think that has really helped me to navigate building my career, even within my own self, my self-esteem, my feelings of self-worth. I'd say that's it. I've been able to identify and know my worth and be able to internalize it. I would say that's my greatest superpower. How about you?
I love it. I love it. I think that self-confidence and self-awareness is a really big thing. Again, yeah, to select one. I mean, I think I've got a few, and I'll pick I'll pick three just to be kind of.
That's cheating. That's cheating.
I know. I like cheating. I'm a big cheat. Guys, anyone watching, can you please leave some comments and let us know you're here as well while we're having the crack? So basically, right. So I have two superpowers from a mindset, kind of soft skill perspective, and then I have one actionable, real superpower in the real world, right?
Okay.
So the two that I have today that I think are really powerful are metacognition. So like you just said, self-awareness of your own thoughts, being able to go out here and look in and look at your own thoughts and see if they're positive, negative, what are you thinking about, that kind of stuff. And the other one is critical thinking. Since a young age, I've been critical of everything, advertisements on television, programs, X Factor, you name it. I've been standing there in front of the TV criticizing the crap out of it, right? And you know, it used to be a negative thing, and it used to make me really emotional and annoyed and stuff like that. But then when I get older, started thinking, how can I use that superpower and make it not my kryptonite, if you've seen Superman, but my actual superpower? And the same with that thought process as well, that metacognition. It used to be negative. I used to be like a washing machine and amplifying all those negative thoughts, and it would get bigger and bigger and bigger, and because I was looking at them and analyzing them. But now I'm analyzing them going, oh, there's a little negative one's just popped in there, get out, turn it into a positive, and we move on, right? So then my biggest superpower, I think, and this has come through my entire life of being, trying, trial and error, failing, falling down and everything. And it's really the ability to train, teach, coach somebody, but even more so take something that's complex or a subject and put it into somebody's brain, so that not only do they get a really deep understanding of it, but they understand exactly how they can action it and actually use that process and put it into action and actionable steps. And that's a lot of feedback I've got over the years from all my training and stuff. You're very engaging, but you're also this ability to, you know, break down complex stuff and put it into people's heads in a very simplified manner. And I think that's really powerful to get that feedback as well, because that builds my self-confidence, and then I can help more people. Like, people are watching now and they probably say, Patrick looks very confident and he's good at this, and so is Naomi. And I don't know about you, Naomi, but I have told you, and I tell you every time, I have anxiety, and I'm sitting here a nervous wreck before we come on. And even when we're on, I'm still babbling on. This is built on anxiety and nerves as well, right? Which is good. So it's a superpower. My anxiety is allowing me to be big and bright and energetic and talk like this. So, you know, we need to turn those negatives into positives, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome answer. I've got a great story, right, about how I hacked the system. We're talking today about how we hack the system, the systemic system of applying for jobs, interviews, applications, recruitment, all of that stuff, right? So I have a great story about how I hacked the system of recruitment and found work, right? I live in a city which is amazing, amazing people, but highest unemployment in the UK and Ireland since probably as long as I was on this planet, and still today it still is. So we find it really difficult to find work here, to get jobs. I can remember there was a job for Tesco a few years ago, and 3,000 people applicants were in a city of, I think it's 95,000 people.
Wow.
So it's just insane, right? So I think I'd like to mention first that I do not and have never agreed with the system. Again, that critical thinking, that critical analysis, that, you know, pushing back on the status quo. I've never agreed with the system of CV, application form, interview, sitting there terrified in front of 5 people you don't know. Talking like a robot, answering questions like a duck. And then, well, thanks, Patrick, we'll let you know. And then you don't actually hear from 99% of them ever again. I just don't agree with it. And, you know, I think it needs to change. So before I go off on one, Naomi, which I think I've already done, please tell me a story of a time where you maybe did or tried something different when seeking employment in your earlier days of searching. And tell me about some of the emotions that you were feeling as well at that time. Maybe when you left university, out in the working world, boom, big slap in the face. Now I have to find a job. How were you feeling? And what did you experience? And what was your shift in mindset as well? There's quite a lot of questions.
All right. Well, we'll try and unpack them piece by piece. And if you have to stop me, then you can cut in at any time. So I think one of the biggest lessons that I learned on that journey, and it kind of feeds into what I think my superpower is the understanding, when you come out fresh out of university, you're looking for a new role and you see all these positions that are available, and then they want like 10 years of experience and, and all these different qualifications. You just got your bachelor's, they want a master's, a PhD, and they want all these years of experience. And it can be really discouraging. It can be really disappointing as well, because that birth into this new world can make you feel, oh my goodness, I am actually inadequate. The skills that I have are not valued, are not recognized. The contribution that I have to give, it seems as though they don't want or need what it is that I'm offering. And that can be really disheartening, and that can really mess with your self-esteem, and it can really derail you in terms of, you come out of college, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to go. The world is your oyster, but you get disappointed. And so one of the things that I did is, and it's something that I wanted to share, and I can't, to be honest with you, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to share it now or later on, but I'll do it now.
Go for it. There's no rules.
It was about recognizing that I have transferable skills, and that, you talked about this system, about not agreeing with the system of, a CV and writing an application, getting an interview. I realized that if I had two options. I could either go down the entrepreneurial route, which eventually I did, or I can actually play the game. And part of me playing the game was that I had to find a way to craft my messages about my skills in such a way that someone else would then desire to have me on their team. So at that time, there wasn't that much that I had done. I worked in a bookshop for a while. I did some other menial jobs that I wasn't really that interested in, but you just have to do. And I remember coming across this, and it says, how would you write, I changed a light bulb on your resume or your CV? And someone responds and says, single-handedly manage the successful upgrade and deployment of new environmental illumination system with zero cost overruns and zero safety incidents. Now, I read that and I love it. I laugh because, sometimes you do have to play the game. And so I think it's important to assess the sorts of skills that we do have, the experiences, in every phase of life. It requires a different skill set. And so I believe that with us, that critical analysis, taking a look at ourselves and what we do, we can package our gifts, our talents, our abilities that may seem mundane, boring, and just ordinary, and try to package them in a way that makes us more interesting characters. Yes, the example that I gave, maybe a bit over the top, but I think it's the underlying principle. And so that's what shifted for me. I had to present myself in a different way. I'm still the same person. The person that was rejected from one job was the same person who was accepted in another role. All that changed was how I presented myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. That's a brilliant answer. I love it. I couldn't.
What about you, Patrick? I'm sure you've had similar experiences.
I've got a million stories. And the entrepreneur thing didn't happen until later years, like only in the last 5-7 years. And that was me again, finding my mission, my vision, my purpose in life. But I have a great story from when I left university and I did some of those menial jobs. Even before that, I've been working since I was 9, right? So I used to work in a local shop, Gill's shop, for any of my Gill's friends, and everybody from Derry, anyone's watching will know Gill's shop. I used to bag spuds, like potatoes. And I'd be in this dark room at the back of the shop, and they must have just dumped them in through the back door. And then I'd be sitting in this big heap of spuds, just putting them in the bags. And it was a simple job. It was very simple, but it was tough as well because, you're young and you're trying, but I got paid and I was happy and everything else. And then when I was 15, then my dad, I suppose he was thinking about, His idea probably behind it was if he put me out into hard labor on the building sites, it might give me that mindset of I don't want to do this, so I need to find something else. So maybe that was his vision behind, pushing us into myself and my brother on the building sites and stuff. He did a lot of building and maintenance stuff himself. So we worked in hard labor. Like I would be standing all day, like pulling up on a pulley, like buckets of cement up a rope for ages and stuff like that.
Wow.
I've sold windows. I sold none actually, but I tried to sell windows. I've sold suits in a store. I think I sold one.
Yeah.
That's not going very well so far, is it? I'm not a great salesman, and so on and so forth. But I've done all these jobs, and you have to do all of these jobs, and you have to get all of these transferable skills, like you're talking about, right? It builds your confidence, it builds team skills, communication skills, interpersonal skills. You might be thinking I'm a McDonald's or somewhere, and this is an awful job, and people might see me, and you're hiding in the back with your hat down, and it's not. It's an amazing job. In fact, McDonald's is one of the best business systems on the planet.
Absolutely.
And just because you work in there as a burger flipper doesn't mean you can't give a perspective and go, how does this business model actually work?
Yeah.
This is incredible, because it is. When you break down the case study of McDonald's as an example, their business model is insane. It's off the planet.
Yeah.
But my story is I decided fairly early on that, I'm different. I don't play status quo. I don't play the system. I don't want to play the game. I know that I'm different and things can be done differently. So I started kind of researching. I did a degree in music technology, so I was passionate about sound and music and that kind of stuff, as you know. So I started thinking, well, how can I get into that area of work? And this is the most niche thing on the planet, music technology, especially back then, music production, finding a job, that was like a needle in a haystack. In fact, our course at Huddersfield University, I think, was one of the only 3 universities in the whole UK that was doing that course at the time.
Wow.
So you can imagine how limited, I wasn't in finance, I wasn't in law, I wasn't in this, that, or everything. So my kind of options were so much smaller than everyone else's. So I had to think outside the box, right? If I wanted to get into what I love doing, I had to think outside the box. So what I did was I applied for all those jobs. Over a year, I collected over 200 letters, Naomi, saying, "Dear Patrick, thank you for your da-di-da-di-da. Unfortunately, you have not been successful this time." As you were just saying, that breaks you. It breaks your heart. It breaks your system. It breaks your soul. It breaks your mindset. You go into a deep hole. You think, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't have the skills. I can't get the skills. I'm da. So your head's just going on and on like this. So I started thinking about, well, where are the local community centers or funded bodies or things that exist? Let's do some Googles. Find out what exists, send out some messages, see if there's any courses going that are, funded by the government or anything like that. Something that would give me a little foot in the door where I can go and show my skill sets to the highest possible level, so that hopefully with a prayer, somebody notices me and goes, "Patrick, well done. I want to help you."
Yeah.
So that's literally what happened. I found a little course in recording sound, location sound, in a local center here in Derry called the Nerve Center. And I went in there and I did this course with a guy called Qua Daniels from London, absolute legend of a man. And Quab just put me through the course like he did everyone else. I think I got like 98% of my assessment at the end of it. And, compared to, I don't know what the rest of them got, but he was just blown away by this. So he went behind my back and he told the top guy in the Nerve Center about this. And I'd done this and I got this. And I told him what I'm interested in and what I want to do and stuff as well. So then I got called in then to meet with the top guy. And I told him all about who I am and what my passion and my vision is and my mission and what I want to do. And then he says, "Well, why don't you try this, this, and this, these 3 places?" He didn't do any more than that. He just said, "Here, and if you reach out to them, I'll follow up for you then and put in a good word." So that's what I did. I got on the phone. I reached out. Bang, bang, bang. And one of them came back after 3 months. I had to wait 3 months, and these things happen in life. After 3 months, they came back and said, "Patrick, we'd be interested in taking you on a full-time job." And then Pierce, who was the head of the Nerve Center, put in a really nice, good word for me. And the next thing, I've moved to Wicklow down south of Ireland. It's the biggest recording film studios in Ireland. You've all the Hollywood movies. I got to meet what do you call her, Anne Hathaway and Pierce Brosnan and all of these actors. I was working with these kind of people every day, and all the top directors were coming in and everything else. So that's my story of how I hacked the system. Instead of sitting there applying for job after job after job, I went after what I wanted and I hacked it, and I made sure that I got it. So resilience, never giving up, knowing my own worth and what I want to do, and just going after it. And I've been doing that my entire life. Often it doesn't work out, but you have to try, isn't it? You got to give it a go.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to shut up talking now for a second and pass it over to you again, right? Pass the ball. So, Naomi, the world is in chaos right now, as we all know, with COVID. Unemployment is growing rapidly. Recession is ripe. Demand for jobs far exceeds the supply of jobs. What advice would you give to a young woman right now who's just graduated from university and had the sudden awakening that she does not maybe have the skill sets or the work experience that is being asked for by employers in her dream industry and dream job, which is really important?
Yeah. I think the first thing that I would say to a young woman in that position is to, first of all, do not lose hope. Number two, the second thing would be that this is not your fault. It's not within your control that the economy, the world is in the state that it's in. But more than that, I would tell her to get excited. You see, something that I have learned, and I have proved it, demonstrated, is that in every single crisis, there is the seed of an equal or greater benefit. And it's all about shifting your perspective to be able to identify the opportunities that are present in crisis and then take decisive action to exploit those opportunities and create something for yourself. Now, that might sound all airy-fairy or wishy-washy, but I can give perhaps some examples, some real life examples. So I recall back in 2007, 2008 or so, I was selling mortgages, and it's around the time of the financial crisis, and perfect timing, perfect industry. And I remember seeing, people who won. I remember seeing people who lost big time. Lost their homes, lost their jobs. It was a terrible, terrible recession that we went through. But I also observed others who were winning during that season. I observed other people who were positioned to capitalize off the opportunity that had presented itself. And I watched and I figured, you know something, I am not in a position to win right now, but this will never happen to me again. And so what I did was, when I saw that this crisis was starting to happen, I said, okay, life goes in cycles. We've been here before. We may not have experienced COVID-19 before, but the principle, we've experienced this before. There are going to be some people during this time who lose, but there are also going to be people who win. And yes, sometimes it can be the luck of the draw. But there are other times where we have more power than maybe we give ourselves credit for. And it starts with making a decision. So I would encourage any young woman who is in this position right now to make a decision that you will come out of this as a winner. And I truly do believe that at the point of commitment, of making that decision, the universe conspires in your favor for you to win. But it relies on you taking decisive, bold, and consistent action. That's what I would say. That would be my best advice. Get excited. Don't be fearful. Don't be negative about it. Be intentional about transforming the way that you think about this. Speak good things over your situation. Don't speak doom, gloom, death, and destruction. Speak opportunity. Speak happiness. Speak joy. And I believe that by being intentional, you cause a shift to happen within you. And I believe that our externals are nothing more than a reflection of our internal state. So when I expect great things, funnily enough, great things start to happen. When I focus on the good, on the possibilities, I get to see them so much more. So that's probably the best advice that I could give any woman in this situation now who is thinking, oh my goodness, the odds are stacked against me and there's a good chance that I may fail. No, get excited. This is an opportunity for you to show yourself just how amazing you are, how much you can think outside of the box, how creative you can be with coming up with solutions to this challenge that you face, and how adaptable you can be at exploiting the opportunities that are there, because there are people in this season who are winning, even if it doesn't look like it. So change your circle, expose yourself to new people, to new opportunities, and go for it. Keep running, keep running.
Amazing. I love it. What a passionate answer. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, Naomi. That was just Bang on the mark. We got you, Naomi.
But you know, Patrick, the reason why I guess I'm so passionate about it is because this is my
Absolutely.
lived experience. It's my
100%.
lived, I'm not speaking theory.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking something that I read somewhere. I'm
Yeah.
talking about things that I've applied within my own life, and I am seeing the results day after day. And Patrick, I'm no different to you or to any other woman. I don't have two heads. I don't have four arms. I am just the same as you, with the same struggles, the same fears. And if I can do it, then you absolutely can do it too. But
100%.
that's enough of me talking. Patrick, I'm interested in your perspective. What would be your best advice that you could give
Absolutely
a woman in that position?
We've just got, hi Marie Claire, hi John, hi Mark, everybody. Please comment if you're watching. You're very welcome. Any questions, please get them in there. Absolutely, Naomi. That was the most passionate answer I've heard in years from anyone. You deserve a trophy for that. Like, seriously, absolutely brilliant. I love it. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. You know, anyone that's watching this and isn't having this struggle, and just listen to what you just said and how you've actually presented yourself and what you said is so, so powerful to anyone. Right. So what's this here? Show. Hi both. Oh, it's Caitlin. Cool.
Hey,
so what I would say is I can't beat what you've just said. It's so bang on. But from my own experience as well, you're so right. And everything you're saying comes back to mindset. It completely does.
Absolutely.
So my hack for anyone, based on, following on what you just said, is take a little bit of time out of your day, please, and just sit down and learn how to do mindfulness. It's very easy. It's literally just and starting to be aware of your thoughts and just let them flow and everything else, and just do that and just stop and let stuff flow into your head and start analyzing your thoughts. Are they negative? Are they detrimental? Are they sending me in the wrong direction? And then start to look for those opportunities, right? The only way you're going to exceed in life is if you fail. I don't like the word fail, but it's the only way you're going to move forward. And you'll hear this from a lot of big speakers around the world, because they know, because they've done it. We've all done it. If you don't fall down and get up, you're not going to move to the next stage. I see it as like an elevator going up a building. If you don't fall down that elevator shaft in the first floor, you're not going to the second. And if you don't fall down the second, you're not going to the third. You have to fail. You have to try. Fail is not a great word, but fail and learn is the principle, and take action, which is exactly what you've just said. If you don't take action, and how do we do that? A little bit of mindfulness, set a goal, very simple, very small steps, turn up every day, turn that goal into action, watch it take place. It's going to take time. Things will start to develop. Things will start to come to you. What you're looking for, what you're asking for, what you're praying for, whatever your religious or belief system or makeup is, that stuff's going to start coming to you, right? So absolutely brilliant advice. Thank you very much, Naomi, for that. And for anybody that's actually watching, it is so powerful. So based on that, what would be the number one tip that you would give any woman struggling right now with the state of affairs that the world is in? And when I say tip, I mean an actionable tip. So to get her started in that journey. So like I've just said, mindfulness. Would you have one actionable tip that some women now watching could take today? Take it away, apply it, and it would help them get on that journey towards success and finding work and everything else.
How long do I have, Patrick? Because I think the best way I can talk about this is through a short story.
The Irish dancing starts in here in probably about 15-20 minutes. So it'll be like a big herd of cattle just going, you've got
you've got
time. I'm not joking. Go for it.
Okay. The best way that I can illustrate this is through a story. And I can't take the credit for this. I didn't make it up. It's something that I've heard, and it has had such an impact on my life, and I have to share it with everyone. So you may have heard, people who've come into contact with me before, you may have heard me talk about it before, and it's called the law of precession. The effects of bodies in motion on other bodies in motion. If I were to take a pebble and to drop it into a body of water, two things would happen, or there would be two reactions. One would be the pull of gravity, pulling this pebble down to the bottom, but there would be the ripple effect. There would be two actions taking place.
Yeah.
Now, for every course of action that we take, there is a secondary reaction that is also happening as a result. And this can best be illustrated by the story of the honeybee. The honeybee will wake up in the morning and it has one goal. Its goal is to go from flower to flower to flower, collecting nectar with the view to going back to the hive and somehow whatever they do and making honey. That's all it is interested in. Yeah. This bee is so relentless in the pursuit of its goal that it fails to realize that there is another secondary reaction that is taking place at 90 degrees to the direction of its travel. Unbeknownst to the honeybee, this secondary reaction, this side effect, is actually critical for the existence of life on this planet. So much so that if this honeybee fails to pursue its somewhat menial goal, life on this planet simply would no longer exist. That secondary reaction taking place is what's known as pollination. The honeybee's purpose on this earth is pollination, but it doesn't know it. All it knows is that it's setting out to achieve its goal of collecting nectar. Why am I sharing this story? What on earth does this have to do with the question that you've asked me? It's simple. My number one actionable tip is to set a goal, any goal, it doesn't matter, and go pursue it. Get into action. I believe it was Einstein who said that nothing happens unless something moves. If you were to look at my CV, to many people, it wouldn't make sense. Done a bit of this, done a bit of that, tried this, tried that. It wasn't my dream. It certainly wasn't. But you know what I can see now, looking back, and they say that hindsight is 20/20, but let me tell you something. Every step that I took along my career path, the jobs that I hated, but I needed to do, they all taught me something that has contributed to this amalgamation of experience that I have today, which has created and crafted my dream business today. And I promise you this, I kid you not, I would not be the woman that I was today had I just sat down and just wished for it and hoped for it and prayed that something would materialize. No, I had to get up, take action, do these menial jobs, do these things that maybe didn't make any sense. However, they have contributed to who I am today. And so now when I look back, it's like, oh yeah, that's why I had to do this. That's why I had to have this experience. It's all now come together. So my actionable tip to any woman in this situation is don't get disheartened that they're rejecting you from the company or the industry that you may be looking at and that you may be striving for. Rather, embrace what it is that you can get. Embrace what it is that you can do. And believe you me, at some point in the near future, it will show up, it will click, it will all make sense. And you will see, the importance was that I kept moving, that I kept going. So get into action, set a goal, any goal, because you never know that on the way to pursuing and achieving your goal, you may just discover your life's purpose.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. I wish we had like sound effects and like, you know, cheers from the arena and stuff, you know. It would be amazing, so wouldn't it though? We got to figure out how to do that stuff, right?
That is funny.
That'll be so cool.
What about you though, Patrick?
Yeah, that is just magic, you know, absolutely magic. I mean, I it's hard again. How am I going to top an answer like that, you know? But the add to your the amazing passion and amazing answer again is I think, you know, every human being on this planet has a gift. Wherever that gift is from. If you're a human being and you're living and breathing and walking and talking, you are amazing. And I don't care what you say or what you think, you are amazing. And you know, we've lived through a systemic world of things, from education to recruitment to whatever, and it's all created in a way that often it can suppress creativity and innovation and thinking outside the box and believing in yourself. And you know, there's a lot of great people in the world, don't get me wrong, and teachers and trainers and all these great people doing great things, but the system suppresses as well, and you have curriculum and you have standards and you have to do it this way or there's no other way, and that's how it's done and everything else. And then they have to do exams and all this, and you had it all last week, and all the terror and fear and anxiety and all of this mental health stuff going on because people are waiting for, like, did I get an A, did I get an A star, did I get a B? We know, Naomi, it doesn't matter a crap on the long scheme of things. It does not matter in the slightest, right? And we have Caitlin on here as well. Hi Caitlin and Brona, thanks But Caitlin's a great example. Caitlin is amazing at design. And I started working with Caitlin like a year and a half ago. And I think, and I hope that I've helped Caitlin with her self-confidence and her belief in herself and her design. And she's outstanding. And it's like her superpower, you know. And I don't think Caitlin maybe seen it as her superpower back when we started. But I hope that I know that she does now, because she's doing amazing things. But I think everyone has a gift. And I think you need to figure out what your gift is. Because if you can, let's say, monetize, you don't have to monetize everything, right? But if you can figure out what your gift is to give to the world, and you live in that, you know, monetary system that we do of capitalism, then that will convert to money and security and freedom and all the things that you need to shift your mindset to the better place. But if you can find that gift and put it into practice and take action and hone it and hone it and hone it and keep polishing it and making yourself better and putting yourself out there and sharing whatever that is with the world, I guarantee you that you will find your way, you'll find your purpose, you'll find your pathway. The system is being built to make you feel like they have the power. That panel sitting in front of you, they have the power, they have to stay. No, that's nonsense. You have the power. You're in the driving seat. That's just the way it's been made to feel. We have the job and we're asking you. There's other people against you. No, you decide what you want. You decide what you're good at. You decide where you want to go, and you carve out your own pathway and you make your own job. You go and you apply to those companies in a different way. You send them letters. You turn up at their door. You go on LinkedIn. You find out who the right person is. You just keep going until you get where you're meant to be, and do not ever give up. And that is the best gift I can give to anybody that's listening today from my own journey. Do not play to the system. If you know, do not play to the beat of the drum. Play in it if it's to your benefit, but there are other ways, and don't get stuck. And this is it, and that's all there is, because it's absolute nonsense. So amazing. There, my voice nearly went. So
that's all right.
So amazing, Naomi. Again, one another amazing session. Anybody got any questions or any feedback or any comments? Please get them in now, because we're going to wrap up very soon. Thank you for your time, Naomi, today. Next week, guys, is episode 3. We're going to have a very special guest and role model, which is our friend Susie Smith. Susie is also single mom of 2, business owner, lecturer, digital skills expert trainer, works in fashion, blah, blah, blah. And she's an amazing human being, just like Naomi. She's a beautiful person. I can't wait to have her on with myself and yourself, Naomi. And I'm going to announce what the topic is on Monday on our social media channels as well. So look out for that on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Please do like our Facebook page. Get in touch with myself and Naomi. Would you see this here little trick here, Naomi? Wait, do you see this here? Oh, look at that. Brilliant. Connect with Patrick and Naomi only. Let me just let it run it past again once more. Oh, there we go. It's coming up. Oh, here we go. I should be reading the horses as well. And here's another one. Oh, look at this. Please like our page for future episodes, Buzzstart Academy. Look, we're getting better, right?
Amazing.
So let's see if we have any more comments before we wrap it up, guys. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. You're absolute legends. Can't wait till next week, Naomi. Thank you very much. I hope you have a lovely day and your kids and weekend and everything else. And I hope it's a blessed day. Over and out from us, guys. Have a good one and take care.
Bye.
Bye. Cheers, Naomi.
You're welcome.